I love my Onewheel GT. Since getting this board over the past spring and putting the miles on through the summer, I've come to really appreciate the design choices that went into creating this new flagship Onewheel. Future Motion managed to keep the same feel as the venerable Onewheel XR while delivering on the promises of increased range and torque with almost no downside. If you compare the size of the Onewheel GT to that of the XR from the top looking down, the two boards look almost identical. Ignoring the concave foot pads and the light bar of the GT, you'd be forgiven for mistaking one for the other. From a profile, however, it becomes much more obvious where Future Motion crammed that extra power.
That's a huge bitch!
And although that extra torque it offers does do a lot to keep the board horizontally stable, either while tackling steeper hill climbs or a challenging descent, scraping the bumpers on the ground is simply an inevitability with this hefty board. The unfortunate result is increased wear and tear on the bumpers that come with the board, causing them to wear out much more quickly than those of the previous Onewheel models. The solution? Float plates from the good folks over at the Float Life. Added protection for those people looking to bomb-proof their boards. Okay, so straight up, I don't do grinds with my Onewheels. I wish that I could. I'm not good at it, and so it's not a skill that I have. So I did not install float plates so that I could have some sweet long slides on some greasy grinds, because I can't do that. But I did install these float plates because I was wearing through bumpers like crazy before I put them on. So I'm doing a lot of trail riding with this board up here in the interior of BC, and there's a lot of hills on the trails that I'm riding on. So there's gonna be lots of up and downs, and so purely these float plates are a solution to a problem that I'm having. But if you don't have that problem, I'm not gonna recommend getting these because you do lose that much clearance. And every little bit of clearance on this board makes a difference in my opinion. But I made the decisions to protect the bumpers that are on here with float plates. Oh, hello there.
Hello there.
So that I don't have to keep replacing them, getting them shipped from California, and it's just kind of a pain in the ass where I am here in Canada. So for me, the float plates are a solution to that problem. Now my dog's chasing the cat. So my biggest concern about putting float plates on my GT, apart from losing the small bit of clearance, is actually stripping out these threads for where these screws go in. By introducing a float plate on here, you are creating a shear plane here. So if you did hit a rock really hard here, potentially you could strip those screws right off, even shear them right off. Anyways, if that is a big concern to you, I would recommend actually just installing the rear float plate and leaving the front one off. I mean, the front one, it actually only has 2 screws here and then just attaches with an adhesive strip. So it's actually not attached as well as the bottom, which has 4 screws all the way around and an adhesive strip. So already it's not as strongly secured as the rear foot pad, and the rear foot pad is what is going to take more of the wear as you're riding anyways. So install that rear float plate and you are good to go. And now after 2 months of riding with these float plates, I can say that I did have some issues at the beginning catching the front side edge on rocks, but what I found is if I actually do use elevated mode, it can really just get me where I need to go, and I can almost get to the top of the mountain here in my local favorite ride without even touching the float plates to the ground. I think what we're all waiting for the GT is some nice bang bumpers that Float Life created for the XR, and just upgrade those to the GT. One solid unit instead of two with that shear plane is going to be a better idea for the longevity of your board, but because we don't have that product yet, float plates are the only solution that exists. Anyways, if you watched this far, thanks for sticking around. Consider giving me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.